Struggling with the Wi-Fi. I'm currently in a parking lot, but hello. What's your yoga pose question? Which yoga pose? I love that there was already a question when I opened this. Hello. Which yoga pose do you have a question about? I feel like I talk to my Cambly or my ESL students about yoga poses all the time. Because I say, oh, I'm a yoga teacher, and they're like, oh! It's currently a very cloudy and rainy day today. So I've just been chilling. Hello. Which yoga pose were you talking about? What state do you live in? I'm from Cali. I'm from the state of Arizona. That's where my address is, but currently I'm moving around in Colorado. The last time I was in California was March of 2020. I was in San Diego the week before the pandemic started, and then me and my friends were like, oh, I need to go home. What is cobbler's pose? Are there other names for that pose? From Canada. Ooh. Yeah, everybody, tell me where you're from in the comments. That's fun. I'm sure Canada is... Well, how is Canada right now? How is the weather in Colorado? It's been really nice in the mornings, but then it usually rains in the afternoon. Like today it's been cloudy all day, so yeah. I think today the high was like in the 70s. It was really nice, but it's been in the 90s Fahrenheit recently. Sorry, I'm American and I use Fahrenheit for the person from Canada. How many tattoos do you have and what do they mean? I have a whole video about all of my tattoos. Not to be that person who's like, oh my god, I have a YouTube video about that, but I have a YouTube video about that. I have 9 tattoos total. Do I want more? Yes. Will I get more this fall? Maybe. We'll see. But my first one was this one. It's a date that's sentimental to me, and then this one, which kind of goes with that one in the sentiment. But then I started getting just like fun tattoos that were just flowers and nature, and because I like being out in nature. I think my favorite one is the one that's on this tricep. I'm not sure if it will be able, yeah. That's kind of sideways, but it has the moon and a saguaro cactus and a saguaro blossom and a prickly pear cactus. So it just reminds me of Tucson, which is where I went to university. But if you want to know all the other tattoos, go watch the video. I still don't recognize the pose name. Now I feel bad. Cobbler pose. Am I able to like exit the live and go Google something? I'm not sure how the rules on the live works. Cobbler's pose. Can you describe what it's like to me? I'm so sorry. The weather has been sunny and hot. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, that's better than snowy and cold, but that also means wildfires, so I don't know, as long as the smoke isn't too bad where you're at. Hello, Roger. Nice to see you again. You'll see this in an upcoming video, but I made a new window covering for my back window. I used to have a piece of Reflectix that I would shove up in there with some of my blankets, but I found a clearance blackout curtain at Walmart for $5 and I hung it up. I cut it up and I hung it up myself. So I'm happy with that. I'll obviously take it down when I'm driving. Chill. But you'll see that in a car maintenance video that I have been avoiding editing. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. Oh, also, I used a microphone in the very first live that I did, but I lost the little piece that connects the microphone adapter to my phone. So now I can't use it anymore, unless it's somewhere in my car. I'll have to do a deep clean the next time I'm at a house sit. But nobody brought their questions. I told you to bring your questions. At least on Instagram, I told you to bring your questions. Also, Instagram, I finally had a video do well on Instagram, but there's so many comments. I can't read them. Hi. How long have you been car living? So I moved out of my apartment 2 years ago. And I've been living in my car off and on. So initially I went abroad for 4 months and I did work exchanges abroad where I did work in places in exchange for a free place to stay, basically just keeping my costs really, really low. But then after a few months of that, I came back to the States and I lived out of my car all of the summer in 2022. And then I got another job abroad in October of 2022, so I left again for a few months. I came back in February. And then I moved back into my car in February this year, and I've been in my car doing house sitting jobs ever since. So I guess maybe 4 months out of the year I was abroad, and then the other 8 I was in my car. So maybe 16 months total. Guesstimate. But yeah. Have you seen the 2014 Annie movie? No, so a fun fact about me is I don't watch movies. Or TV, really. I love YouTube. I think that's why I have my own YouTube channel, is because I just love consuming YouTube and it gives me so much inspiration to create my own YouTube, you know? So no, I have not seen the 2014 Annie movie. So sorry to disappoint. How do you get into house sitting? So there's an app called Trusted House Sitters. There's a link to their website in the description of all of my YouTube videos, as well as the link that's in my bio and all of my social profiles. But it's an app that allows people who need a house sitter to post like, hey, these are my dates, this is my house, these are my pets, and then I, as a trusted house sitter, can apply. They do charge a membership fee because they run a background check and they cover insurance on some of the plans for if anything goes wrong. So I honestly think the annual fee is worth it for how little it is and how much you get when you have a whole house for free. Especially living in your car, it's a nice break. I don't think I would have survived the summer if I wasn't also doing house sitting. So I always say, like, I live in my car because that's what grabs people's attention on social media. But really, I do house sitting and then I do car living in between. So, yeah. I highly recommend Trusted House Sitters. All you have to do is provide, like, 3 reviews from people you know, and then they do run a background check, and then they charge a fee, but if you use the link, you can get 25% off. Can you work a full-time job while house sitting, pet sitting, or do they want someone who will be there more often than not? So if you work full-time online, I would say that's fine. But if you're like living in a big city and looking to do house sitting jobs, living in your big city and then commuting to work and commuting back, that might be a downside for some people. I know that whenever I message people, I always say, like, I work online, I'll be at home all the time. And I don't know if that convinces them, but it's still worth a shot. I would say look at the demand in your area before signing up, like if you are in one place, because the demand for trusted house sitters definitely varies. So that's why I find myself in Denver the last 2 summers, is because there's just a lot of demand for house sitting here. So if you live in Denver, I would say, yeah, it's probably worth it. There's tons of opportunity here, especially if you want to like spend a weekend in Boulder or spend a weekend in, I don't know where, the mountains. There's some opportunity in the mountains too in Colorado. But yeah, I would say check out the demand in your area, and it could still be worth it if there is that high demand, because with trusted house sitters, they also have what's called a last minute listing, where the person's literally leaving next week and they don't know what they're going to do and they're desperate. So those people probably wouldn't care. They probably would just want someone to make sure that their animal gets fed at certain times of the day and that they get some attention and a walk. But yeah, it's not just a free house. Like, you do have to take care of the animals, but I enjoy animals, and so it doesn't feel like work for me. For me, I'm just grateful that, oh my god, I get to love on a dog and 2 cats this week, or I love animals, so that also is a requirement. But yeah. Is that your real hair color? What color would you have dyed your hair? Yeah, so I have never dyed my hair in my entire life because I have naturally curly hair, as you can kind of see. It's a little frizzy today because of the clouds and rain and humidity, but yeah, I've never dyed my hair. I have this photo of myself when I was a kid where I had this like strawberry blonde hair. It was so pretty. So if I ever dyed my hair, I would either go lighter to that, because I feel like that matches my blue eyes, or I don't know. I've always loved like a maroon burgundy red. So some shade of red. That's my answer to that question. Also, funny story about dyeing hair. I have this Cambly student, and one time we were talking about dyeing hair because she dyed her hair with like purple streaks, and I said it looked really good. And she asked if I had ever dyed my hair, and I said no. And that I wanted to, but I was just too scared to. And she then said, "Oh my gosh, but you should dye." And I had to like give her the English lesson of, you need a subject in your sentence. You have to say, you should dye your hair, you should dye it. But just saying you should dye is probably not socially acceptable. So I still talk to her to this day, and it's like a running joke now that go dye. Anyways, fun random story that nobody asked for, but I thought of. I'd like to do it, but I got a dog and a kitten. So I have seen people who successfully do this in vans, like bigger spaces with animals, but yeah, I would never get an animal while living in a car or an SUV. You would definitely need at least a truck bed camper or a van, in my opinion. But it is possible. It just takes a lot more work and like training of the animals too. Like, it depends on the animals' personalities. I wouldn't say completely give it up, but also take things into consideration. That would be my advice. Or just go for weekend trips and have somebody come watch your animals. Use trusted house sitters. Hey. Your pet is so cute. It's not my pet. I wish they were my pets. Actually, the vlogs from the last 2 weeks, I will be returning to that house to take care of those animals again later, and I'm so happy. It's only for like 3 nights, which is unfortunate, but I'll get to see them again, and I'm so excited because they're all so cute. They're so sweet. And I'm also happy that you guys are like enjoying those vlogs and watching those vlogs. I was kind of scared because they're not car content, but they're still like how I live my life. So, like I said earlier, I wouldn't be able to be living in my car if I wasn't also doing these house sitting jobs. So, I think this is a really, really smart way of doing car life. Can you backflip or what? Sorry, just the way that I read that in my head. No, I cannot backflip. I'm actually currently experiencing hip pain in my left hip, and I've been doing like PT exercises from YouTube. I ordered like a little Pilates exercise ball to help me with that, to hopefully help heal my hip pain, because I have a very physical, labor intensive job coming up for 4 months starting in September. So I need to get that fixed. Fingers crossed. Hi. Thought you lived on the street. I mean, I live in my car, and sometimes I park my car at house sitting jobs, and sometimes I park my car on the street. Sometimes I park my car in parking lots that allow me to, and sometimes I park my car out in the middle of nowhere. But either way, I live out of my car, which is why I say that. Hi, 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 hi. I like your glasses. Fun story. I've never actually told this story. Online, at least. So, I don't know why I still have these, but when I went to Texas to visit family, I went on Tinder. The last time I went on Tinder, might I preface. And I went over to this guy's house, and he like took my glasses off and set them on the bed. And then I hear a snap when he like put his hand back down on the bed, and this is what they look like now. So I had to order these glasses online in a panic for $80 because I'm blind and I can't see without my glasses. Luckily I have contacts, but yeah. Anyways, I like the clear ones better than the black ones anyways. So if you're ever passing through Ohio or Kentucky, buy lunch. Thank you. That's why I post. I know, like, a lot of people don't get it, but I post because I know that I inspire some people to live a free life and do what they want. So that's why I share. Ohio or Kentucky? I don't know why I would be passing through. Sorry. Maybe if I go to Virginia, and if I had to like cut back across, I'll let you know. Nana Hannah. That's cute. I got my dog and kitten before going into living in my car, and now I can't just give them up. Yeah. That's the other hard part. I follow another TikToker who had a cat. At one point, she gave it to her friend, and she got it back. I don't know. Thank you. Have you ever considered traveling or car camping to Canada or Mexico? Yes. I think about that a lot, actually, but I wouldn't do it in my car. I think in order to experience Mexico and Canada in the way that I would want to experience them, I would need a 4x4 vehicle. And that is not my Honda Accord. So yeah. Hello. Think the hip pain might be coming from car living? No. So this started after it comes from hiking. Every time I go hiking, like especially up a steep incline, it happened when I hiked Mount Wrightson in Tucson. It happened when I hiked Guadalupe Peak in Texas, and it happened again when I hiked to Sand Beach Lake in Colorado. Those were all very steep inclines, and I don't know, something about the inclines does something to my left psoas. There's like an imbalance in my hips. So honestly, sleeping in my car is really comfortable. The other thing that I think it might be though is the driver's seat of my car. The way that I sit when I drive, the way that I like scrunch up my left hip while I'm pressing on the gas with my right foot and relaxing that leg. I don't know. There's a lot of theories. And physical therapy is expensive, so I call that a smooth move. No, it was not a smooth move. I immediately started crying, and luckily, I live in my car, and so I had contacts, like contact lenses, to put in my eyes in my car so that I could drive home. This man still follows me on Instagram to this day, and I'm just like, bruh. What do you enjoy most about living in your car? I feel like that's hard to pick just one. First thing that comes to mind is being out in nature. When I was a kid, I loved being outside, and when I was living in Tucson, I would always drive my car out into nature for sunset, and I would always think like, oh, it sucks that I have to drive back home. And now it's really cool because I can just drive to a cool camp spot, watch sunset there, and then just immediately tuck myself into bed. I think that's my favorite moment. Also, just the convenience of having everything you need in one little box on wheels that you take everywhere you go. Like, people always ask, what if you break down? I have snacks, I have water, I'm good. I have somewhere to sleep overnight if it's too late to call a tow truck. It's fine. I'll figure it out. But I have everything I need in my little box on four wheels. So those are probably my top 3, 2, I don't remember things. Ohio sucks, but Kentucky has some gorgeous hiking trails. Tennessee has some gorgeous mountains too. Never hiked in Virginia, but I hear it's beautiful. Yeah. Um, so I agree with the Ohio statement. I have some friends who live in Kentucky and they went hiking today and their Instagram stories looked really pretty. So I don't doubt you on the Kentucky part. I've also heard the same about Tennessee, and I've been to Virginia. Well, I've driven all the way across the like when I was a kid, my family took a road trip starting in Arizona all the way to Virginia and back one summer. And so I drove through all of those states, but I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. So I don't know if that's what fueled my love for road trips. And then also we would camp, not on that road trip, but like when I was a kid. So that's why I am who I am. But yeah, I think Virginia is very pretty because we spent a lot of time there. And yeah. Not never say never. I'm not saying never to being in Kentucky and taking you up on the offer. Why don't you take your dogs on a trip? They're not my dogs. So I live in my car and then I come to people's houses of people that I don't know and I stay at their house and take care of their animals and live in their house while they're away, and then when they come back I move back into my car, but obviously the animals have to stay with their owner. Unfortunately, though, because I fell in love with that dog. The dog in the like most recent 2 vlogs. She's so sweet. Where did you start teaching yoga and are you self-taught? No, I took a yoga teacher training. It was online in 2020, but it's honestly what helped keep me sane in like March through May of 2020 when everything was like wild, because I had regular Zoom meetings with my yoga instructor and that was just very grounding for me. So I'm very grateful for that. And then actually the first place I taught was YouTube. If you go all the way to the back, like very bottom of my channel, it was just yoga. I was too scared to like talk. It was just yoga. So that's where I started teaching. That's where I got practice, basically. And then I taught at a gym in my local town for a full year before moving out of my apartment, and then I taught yoga in hotels for a while. I might do that again, I don't know. But now I just teach online in my Mind on Yoga Academy. So everything with my Mind on Yoga Academy and all of the research with the, psychological research studies, as well as the yogic philosophies to support why yoga is good for your mental health, like that is self-taught, and I do a lot of research on my own for that. I read books, I watch and listen to podcasts, and just all sorts of different academic studies that I find on Google Scholar. But yoga itself, I do have my 200-hour teacher training. I do want to do an in-person 300-hour teacher training, preferably in India. They're expensive. And so once I have like extra money lying around and I have like what I want in a vehicle secured, and I will definitely think about doing another teacher training. But yeah, for now I'm just focusing on the Mind on Yoga Academy and living in my car. How do you make it so comfortable? Taking out my passenger seat was really helpful, but that's because I'm short. I'm only 5'5", 5'4", I don't know. I haven't been to a doctor in years. But I fit perfectly from the back seat to the glove box. So that's helpful. Some people take out the back seat completely. I just didn't want to do that. How do you sleep in your car backseat driver? I just answered that. So I took out the passenger seat and made a bed using foam. I have a whole video on my main channel about how I made my bed in my car. But I just used some foam from a Joann's fabric store and made the bed level with the back seat. So for me, it works. Did he ever pay for your glasses? No, he didn't. I don't remember if he offered to or not, but he did not pay for them. So wah, wah. If you decide to put down roots somewhere, what area of the country would you want to live in? So nothing to hide on the live, apparently. I was literally looking at property in some area in the Dominican Republic earlier today. But also, I would love to have like a cabin in the woods, like around the Great Lakes or like in Washington, Oregon. Just like a cabin in a forest with so much forest around that nobody can see me and my business. I think that's my least favorite part about living in my car is everyone can always see my business. And I don't, like, I've learned to let that go, but it would be so nice to just have a cabin in the middle of the woods and a house in the middle of the jungle and spend the time in the woods in the summer and go to the jungle in the winter. Like, that's my manifestation. So, yeah. Louisiana. Hope you had a great week too, Bridget. I've been close to Louisiana, but I've never actually been to Louisiana. Do you date or have guy friends in certain cities? No. After that experience of having someone break my glasses and having to order new ones and being blind for like 2 weeks, except for when I had contact lenses in, no, I don't date. I don't have guy friends. I don't do that. Well, like, I have guy friends, but they're literally just friends, you know? Like, yeah. I also have a whole video on my channel about, like, the struggle of dating on the road, so I think that's a fun one. You have to go back a ways on my channel, though, because I posted it about a year ago. What's been your favorite place that you have visited? In my car? Either Medicine Bow National Forest in Wyoming, which I filmed a bunch of vlogs there last week, and you'll see those in September because I filmed too much. Or I'm just very ahead. Anyways, that's a really cool place. And then also that lake in Arkansas that I camped by that was completely free, and there was a picnic table just right on the water. I have to go back to that place. That place was amazing. Favorite place I visited abroad? The Samana Peninsula in Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and Thailand. Eat bread. I do. I love bread. You should visit, I don't know how to say that, Falls in Georgia. You know, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that and save that. I locked my phone. I didn't take a screenshot. Okay. I'll look that up later and add it to my places to go. I love waterfalls. Are you able to build and save money? What is your end goal? Yeah, so I'm working a seasonal job this fall to work on saving up. So my online jobs cover my like day-to-day expenses, but they don't cover like my car insurance and like car maintenance and things that I want to save for. And so this seasonal job is really well paid and 4 months, and I will be able to save back up. So yeah, and I think I addressed my kind of end goal with the cabins and houses in the middle of nowhere surrounded by trees. So that's my end goal, honestly. What state do you live in? I'm from the state of Arizona, but I live in my car, and I'm currently in the state of Colorado, but next I will go to the state of New Mexico. So you're pretty flexible. Flexible in terms of road plans, like road trip plans, yeah. Flexible in terms of yoga, más o menos, more or less. I can't do the splits, I can't handstand, I can't. Right now my back is out, my left hip, so I'm not very flexible right now. I bend over and I go, oh, so I've been pretty flexible, but I need to work on strengthening my hip. How do you combat loneliness? I know being on the road is fun, but how do you stay in the loop with the public? The public? I don't like the public. I mean, the public, my interaction with the public is the internet. I do ESL tutoring, so that's one-on-one conversations with people, so that's a lot of talking. And then I keep in touch with all of my like real close, good best friends through FaceTime and phone calls and sending Snapchats back and forth. So it takes a lot more effort to maintain friendships and stuff, but yeah, it's a lot of technology. And I'm able to go visit people at least once a year, but that is something to get used to. It also helps that I'm just a very introverted person, so I love going out of service for 4 or 5 days and having nobody contact me. But yeah, that's also just part of my personality. I don't really mind it. I don't really feel alone. Have you ever thought about bringing another YouTuber to build the channel? I mean, yeah, there's YouTubers that I would love to be like besties with. But I'm not there yet. It's fine. It's a process. The next step in the process is definitely like building collaborations and connections with other vehicle dwellers through social media and doing yoga teaching at car camping festivals or van life festivals next year. And also learning how to find sponsorships. That's like my next big project that I'm like, oh, like I've been working towards this for years and now I actually have to learn how to do it. So yeah, I took out my passenger seat and it's still not comfortable. LOL. Well, what did you use to make your bed? Like, are you sleeping on bricks, or like what did you use to make a mattress? You're very attentive with your questions. Yeah, yeah. Have you mentioned Nikki Delventhal on one of your videos. Yeah, I mentioned Nikki Delventhal in one of my Instagram stories earlier this week about other car life or van life people that really inspire me, and I love how she lived in a Toyota Prius for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years until she upgraded to like the dream vehicle, and I feel like that could very well also be me, and I'm already on year 2, so let's keep going. But yeah, Nikki Delventhal is really cool. Are there any other van car life people that you follow? Yeah, I mentioned all of this, and so who would I recommend? Sarah Yak, Sunny Ray, the Happy Camper Girl. These are all on Instagram. The Happy Camper Girl doesn't have a YouTube. Ava Zubek, love her videos. The Next Meridian Expedition, they're a couple from Belgium or France that are driving all around the world in their Land Defender. I think they're pretty dope. There's lots of other people. But yeah, Next Meridian Expedition and Ava Zubek and Sarah Yak are some of my... Oh, and Monica something. I know that's not helpful, but she lives in a Toyota Corolla, so she gets me. Worst job you've ever had? That's hard to say, because like my very first job was really boring, but it wasn't like the worst. My job where I was working at a yoga retreat center in Nicaragua was a lot of drama, and that was kind of the worst, but also I was living for free on a beach in Nicaragua, living in this beautiful yoga place. It was just, the environment was off due to management and treatment of local staff. That's all I will say. Will you live in Peru or Venezuela? I would love to go to Peru or Colombia or Ecuador or Chile or Argentina or Brazil or like all of South America, really. Like I find myself continuing to be drawn back to Costa Rica or the Dominican Republic, but at the same time, I really want to go to all of those places. So I've been to Peru once. That was my first trip ever out of the country. And I loved it, but I didn't see everything that there is to see in Peru, so gotta go back. Southwestern New Hampshire. Have you ever been to the White Mountains area? No, I have not. White Mountains in New Mexico? I'm going to screenshot that. No, the closest I've been to New Hampshire is Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Pennsylvania. But yeah, I never went up to New Hampshire. Family in Massachusetts. I don't know. What type of online jobs do you do? I have a YouTube video about all of the jobs that I work. Are you living in like one place or are you traveling around? There's lots of options with like customer service or virtual assistants or data analyst or like data, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank. But my YouTube video about how to work and travel, I think it's called, talks about all of the different ideas that I've had for working online. Have you ever had any scary experiences living in your car or find anything odd? Scary? No. The only time I get scared, really, is if I'm scared of, like, something going wrong with my car. That's kind of something I've realized recently, is I have a lot of anxiety around my 2006 Honda Accord. Like, I keep her maintained, but, yeah, eventually I'll get something newer. But that's, like, the only thing that scares me. Odd. There was one time I was camping on a BLM campground, and there was this road that went up into the mountains and dead-ended at a river. Because I knew, because I had driven down there earlier in that day, but I was sitting eating my dinner at this BLM campground when all of a sudden this 4Runner drives up the road, like speeding up the road, and then 2 sheriffs follow him, and then 2 more policemen, and then 4 more sheriffs, and I'm like, this road dead ends, so I don't know where he's going. I don't know how this is ending up. So I ended up leaving that BLM camp spot, and that's when I camped in the Walmart in Salida, Colorado. That went viral. I think that was the one that went viral on Facebook. So like it's a good thing that happened, because otherwise I wouldn't have filmed the video in Walmart. But anyways, that's the only like really odd thing. I need classes with you on Cambly. I mean, I'm on Cambly. You can look me up. Like, I have my schedule's open. I'm only on, like, in the evenings in Brazil, afternoons for me in America. I usually work, like, 1 to 5 on Cambly. How do you get mail? Okay, I get this question a lot in the comments, but then I click on the comment and it just, like, disappears and I can't respond to it on Instagram or anything. So, how do I get mail? I have a permanent address with a family member. If it's important, I send it to a family member. If it's a package that I need right now, I either order it through Amazon and send it to an Amazon lockbox, or I could potentially, I've never done this, but I could send it to a post office or a UPS store. There's options for getting mail, and if it's something important that I need right now, I send it to my family member and then I have them repackage it and send it to me some other way, but I've never had to do that, so yeah. I'm sorry. Have you ever been in a toxic relationship? Boy, oh boy, do I have the 6-year story for you. Yeah, I have. I'm not ready to share that story, but yes. And I'm very grateful that I have found my way out of that toxic situation and am living in my car and traveling and doing everything that I had ever dreamed of. And yeah. Like 3 different blankets, I'm just too big. Do you ever Uber? I never Uber. Yeah, I have a lot of blankets, but I'm gonna get rid of some of them. I created a new blackout curtain for my rear view window, so I no longer need the blankets to prop it up, so I'll take some of my blankets back to a family member later this year. You're an introvert, but do you know your personality type from the Myers-Briggs test? I do. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm a psychology major, so I know, like, I've done it. I forget. I wish I had my laptop here so that I could, like, look that up, because that's gonna bother me. I know I'm not an INFP. I'm something similar. I'll post it on my Instagram later. Go follow my Instagram. What's something that really pisses you off? Go get a job comments and you're homeless comments from people on the internet. Or what really pisses me off? Men in Planet Fitness. Old men, specifically. The comments, I don't let it get to me at this point, but it's just like, really, if you took 2 seconds to look at my profile, you would know that I have my shit figured out, and I'm not homeless, and I have jobs, so it's just a silly assumption from people on viral videos, but it does still kind of piss me off. Your goal to visit 50 states? I don't know. That's a cool goal, I guess. Maybe if I get a new vehicle and I'm like inspired to go to Alaska. I don't know how I would go to Hawaii though. I don't know if I would want to like ship it all the way to Hawaii. So I might do 49 states. Yeah. Are you doing any schooling? I have my bachelor's degree, but currently no. I might go back. You never know the future. That's like, people tell me to get my life together in the comments, and I'm like, y'all don't know that I'm considering going back for a master's degree or a PhD for researching in the field of psychology, but I don't need to explain that to you. But yeah, not currently in school, but never know. After you visit 50 states in the US, you need to travel 27 states in Brazil. I would love to travel Brazil. I feel like I already have so many friends in Brazil from my Cambly tutoring that so many people who would be like, oh yeah, come to Sao Paulo, come stay with me. Like, I don't really want to go to Sao Paulo, but I would go there just to see my people, you know. But yeah, Brazil is on my list. The only downside is that y'all speak Portuguese and I speak Spanish and English, so I wish it was raining here. Can you hear the rain? It's currently raining here. I don't know if you can see, like, on the window. It's very peaceful. I actually filmed an ASMR car camping down by the river video where I was, like, chilling in my tent and it was raining on my tent, and then I was in my car and it was raining on my car, and it was just, like, a really relaxing video. I had a campfire at the end. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to edit it. But at the same time, I'm procrastinating my editing so hard. Are you a feminist? I mean, I'm a femme, right? So, I don't know. What's your favorite holiday? I don't. I'm not a person who gets, like, super excited about any holiday. Like, I get excited to go spend time alone in nature on my birthday. I like spending time and eating food with my family on Thanksgiving, but I don't necessarily love Thanksgiving. New Year's is a fun time to, like, set intentions and reflect and do those practices. Maybe New Year's? I don't know. I'm not a holiday person, kind of like I'm not a movie person. What do you use to edit your videos? I edit my YouTube videos on Final Cut Pro on my 2015 refurbished MacBook Pro that everybody in my Instagram comments is pressed about. They're like, you're homeless, but you have a Mac. I'm like, yeah, I'm homeless, living in my car, working on my Mac. So I use Final Cut Pro. And then for my short form videos, sometimes I edit them in TikTok, sometimes I edit them in CapCut, and sometimes I edit them in Instagram, but I hate editing in Instagram. Instagram is a terrible editor. So yeah, long format. I used to use Adobe Premiere for my, like, old videos, my very first videos. I feel like that was harder. Final Cut Pro is nice. DaVinci Resolve is also a free editing software that I've heard is really good, but I already had Final Cut Pro and I have it for life, so I'm gonna use it for life. Favorite song right now or band? I absolutely love... Can I put a comment? No, I can't put a comment. It's a band called Khruangbin. It's hard to spell. KHRUNGBIN. Anyways, it's a group of a guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer, and they slap so hard. I'll post a song of theirs on my Instagram story later today, if I remember. But they're very groovy, they're very relaxed. I listen to them when I want to, like, work. That's when I do my research. The Mac comment killed me. Yeah. It's... people's assumptions kind of just crack me up at this point. I'm like, really? It's a 2015 MacBook Pro. Like, it's not that impressive. Like, yeah, sure, if I had the newest version of the Mac and a new iPad, that might be suspicious, but nah, it's the laptop that got me through university. Like, did you have to pay for Final Cut Pro? Yeah, I did. I think everyone has to pay for Final Cut Pro. Even, like, video editors who get sponsorships, they even have to pay. But Like I said, DaVinci Resolve is a free one, and it also allows you to edit the audio and edit the color grading, so it's still a decent software. I haven't used it, but I've seen videos of other people showing how to use it, because I'm a nerd. You have a phone, but you don't have a house? Yeah, those comments actually crack me up. Like, yeah, everyone has a phone. I wouldn't be able to drive my car around without Google Maps. You know, it wouldn't be as easy. I could do it, but it wouldn't be as easy. So, yeah, it's like, also, I post things via my phone. So, yeah, my phone is a necessity. Houses, I've determined, are not a necessity for me. I just like having the flexibility of doing a house sit with pets and then going adventuring in the forest and then parking my car for a few months and going abroad. Like, it works for me. So, yes, I have a phone. I know you're being sarcastic, but it's just so funny when people leave those comments. So you don't actually use your bachelor's. So I say that I use my bachelor's every day because a psychology degree helps you with interacting with people. So I feel like a lot of my strategy with YouTube comes with a psychology degree. Also, my Mind on Yoga Academy, where I talk about the mental health benefits of yoga. I do a lot of research readings, academic journals from psychology researchers. And so I say I'm using my degree to create my course, but technically, no, I'm not like a psychologist or a therapist, and I never want to be. That's the honest truth. Love your videos. Thank you. The rain is starting to pick up. It's both nice and not nice because it means it's harder to get out of my car. That's the only upside to having a larger vehicle, is then I can stand up when it's raining. I think I'll be on here for 8 more minutes. So if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. Preferably like socially acceptable comments. I don't know. I don't know if you've read the comments on some of my other short videos. If you travel with RV. I would never want a big RV. I would hate driving it, to be honest. Sometimes I even hate driving my Honda Accord, but it's just something that I have to do to live this lifestyle, you know? I talk about this in a future video coming up, but every lifestyle has its positives and negatives, and so it's like the positive of adventuring to new places and seeing new things. It's like the downside is I have to drive a lot, and I don't like driving. So I would get a slide-in truck bed camper, like that fits in the back of a pickup truck, but I wouldn't get something that tows behind a pickup truck, if you know what I mean. Hi, thanks for subscribing. If you could embody any animal, what would you be? I like your questions. Can I pick 2? The 2 that come to mind is like some kind of bird that can fly above everything, and then some kind of like sea animal. I'm not sure which sea animal. An octopus? Just to like experience the depths of the ocean without an exploding submarine, you know? Those are the 2 animals that come to mind. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with that. I don't want to think too hard about it. You like motorcycles? Fun fact, I've only ridden a motorcycle 2 times in my life, and they were both in the Dominican Republic. My dad actually got into a motorcycle accident when I was like, I don't know, 8. And he had to get staples in his head, and he fractured his neck, and he almost died, almost got paralyzed. So they kind of terrify me, but when I rode them in the Dominican Republic, it was really, really fun. So I understand the appeal, but I don't think I would ever get a motorcycle. I would love to have a bicycle that I could put on a camper, but I can't do that with Rhonda the Honda. So if you like chill kind of vibey music, I highly recommend Hiatus Coyote. I'm gonna screenshot that. I've taken 3 screenshots now of this live. Yeah, I'll look them up. I also really like Skin Shape. That's another band that I like. And, Hermanos Gutierrez. So good. So good. How many outfits do you have packed with you? So I have those like plastic drawer systems that have 3 drawers that you can get for like $15 at Walmart. I have one of those that has 1 drawer of shorts, 1 drawer of shirts, and 1 drawer of pants, because pants are like bulkier items. And then I have 2 Tupperware containers underneath my bed that have all of my winter clothes. So I have a lot of outfits. How many do I wear? I wear this shirt so much. So much. Of course. Yeah, there's 2 sides of motorcycles. Some people don't get into accidents, some people do. I know. And if you're a safe driver, it's okay, but it'll just always give me the heebie-jeebies. Or like it'll always kind of scare me. But it was really fun in the Dominican Republic. If I did go back to the Dominican Republic, I would honestly want a scooter, not a motorcycle. I would be one of those bitches with a scooter, but I would love to have a scooter to just like drive to the beach and drive to the waterfall and just explore. And I feel like I have 2 dreams. I would love to be like this beach jungle fairy and also a car camping forest rat. Like, but they can coexist, right? It's fine. All right, a few more minutes and then I need to figure out how I'll eat dinner in the rain. If you missed it, I posted a short showing my evening routine with my like dinner routine. It was stressful because a storm was rolling in. I love to travel motorcycles. My trip is 400 kilometers. That's a long trip. My aunt and uncle really love motorcycles. They have like 2, I think. But I love watching. There's this person, I don't remember her name, but she's riding her motorcycle down the Pan American Highway. Badass. Love her. So you'll cook something tonight? I don't know. The rain might let up because it's just been cloudy all day, so I don't know. We'll see. I also have like snacks that I can grab, like apples and cheese sticks and rice cakes and peanut butter and like things that I don't have to actually cook. I think I also have a salad in my ice chest. We'll see. Very friendly. I think that might come from being a Cambly tutor. Like, I've just learned to be very friendly with people on Cambly, and so that kind of translates to all of my online content. Because in person, I feel like I'm very, don't talk to me. Like, but that's good. That's just because you never know people's intentions. I don't know. With the internet, I feel like I have control over what people know about me, and it's okay to be friendly. Same with Cambly. I actually have a Cambly student that she came to Colorado. She works in Colorado now. She's from Brazil, and so I actually got to meet her. That was really cool. It's Cambly without the E, but Cambly, yeah. And there's also a link for Cambly in all of my descriptions of my videos and in the link in my bio on Instagram and TikTok and everything. And if you use that link, then you can send me a screenshot and then email me, and I can help you with the application process as well. If you're a native English speaker and you're above the age of 18, Cambly is usually looking for more tutors. And if you have a stable internet connection in a place that's quiet and you can't use a phone, that's what I hate about Cambly. You can't tutor on your phone. 2-part question. All right. Do you feel if you settle down in a traditional home, do you think your journey has capacity to live with it? So, yes, I've definitely learned how to live with less living out of my car. Ooh, my phone's gonna die. I've definitely learned how to live with less living out of my car. I don't think I would live in like a traditional suburban home or like an apartment or anything again. I said earlier in the live that I would love to just live in a cabin in the woods, drive into town for goods 2 or 3 times a month, hang out at my cabin, do creative projects, travel abroad sometimes, road trip in my car sometimes still, but like have that home base. That would be the ideal goal, but a traditional home? No. Would you ever consider doing this lifestyle as a married person? If the person I'm marrying is cool enough to want to live this same lifestyle with me and supports my life online and wants to grow instead of hold me back, then yeah, sure. But I'm just very doubtful of finding that, if I'm honest. How has your journey changed your perspective on life? I like your questions, Orlando Cruz. It's definitely made me appreciate the present moment more, both being a yoga teacher, but also just, when I'm living in my car, I'm never in the same spot for very long. And so while I'm there, I really have to make the most of it and enjoy the moment while it lasts, because I know that I have to leave in a few days and I don't know when I'll be able to come back. So it's really helped me be more present. Also, just more connected with nature. Less connected with cities. And just, you really don't need that much to live a happy life. Like, you need a full stomach and a roof over your head, but the way that you do that is up to you, and I would like to live my life instead of let my life pass me by. I think that's the other thing that I've enjoyed living this lifestyle. From a psychological standpoint, do you think it's easier for introverts or to engage online? I do think so, actually. You feel a little bit safer because the people don't feel real. But at the same time, the people who are commenting back at me also don't see me as a real person sometimes. Like, on YouTube, it's different because I feel like y'all see me talk more than anybody. But on Instagram, I get comments that are like that. And as an introvert, it's hard to hear it, but I just have to like ignore it. But I think for extroverts, it's hard to engage online because they want that in-person connection. Whereas an introvert, it's like, I'm good. Give me my space. I just want that social connection, but like, give me my space. That's how I would describe it for me. Yeah, it's a business email. It's in my YouTube descriptions, maybe, or in my YouTube about section. Yeah. Do you watch other channels of people living in a car? Yes, I watch many people living in their car. My favorite is probably Ava Zubek and the Next Meridian Expedition. Who else did I mention earlier? Sarah Yak. the channel Kingin' It on YouTube is really funny and it inspires me a lot. My Instagram is just the same name, Alana Roby, but on Instagram, no space. Love that mindset. Living in the moment is living. Yeah, I agree. Living in the moment is living. Glad to see someone like yourself allowing themselves to live and enjoy life. Keep living and smiling. That's the plan. Yeah. I would definitely do the things you would do. It's funny because I get such a mix of comments like, I could never do that, or oh my god, I would love to do that. And I'm like, wow, there are so many different types of people in the world. It's kind of crazy. But, anyways, I think I'm going to end the live now. I appreciate y'all for joining and asking questions. If you have more questions, I do have a Q&A box up on my Instagram right now. Again, it's just Alana Roby. So if you have anything else you want to ask it there because things in the comments just get lost on my videos. But yeah, this was fun and I will do it again sometime soon in the future.